Hello, you find me sitting with daffodils, sitting in nature, a golden host of exquisite daffodils. Welcome to With Love, Vanessa, episode 5. At some times of the month, we women need a little extra love. And I think it's very, very important to elevate the menstrual period. Sometimes when you say, I've got the decorators in, it's my time of the month, you can feel a little low, a little bleak. And I like to spread a little sunshine into the darkest times of every month, even if you're suffering from rampant PMT, some attention, some affection, a little elevation from your girlfriend, someone who's known you really, really well for 2 or 3 weeks, or actually doesn't know you at all but has admired you and thinks maybe you'd help her along the career path to becoming a billionaire. That kind of friend, you can help her out at her time of the month. And this is what I like to do. I like to provide a little period package of beauty and elevation. And this is how I do it. Now, in the United Kingdom, those of us who are fortunate and privileged very often enjoy this beautiful delicacy. It is called pepperami. It comes packaged like this. You can get it from most well thought of purveyors of high-end comestibles. It is called a pepperami. And if you've never tried it, I can't recommend it highly enough. I shall be selling the With Love Vanessa pepperami, the sausage package, in my special Vanessa. I love a sausage. Give me a pork sword. There's nothing I like more than a good old hot dog range. And I'll be selling each individual pepperami because they come in these very, very sweet, actually they're darling, don't you think? These darling little packages, individually packaged. And I will be selling each individual pepperami to you for what I think is a fabulous rate of £27.50 sterling per individual pepperami. And then you can save up because, I realise you're leading a difficult, humdrum, rather pedestrian, ordinary life, and it may not become easy for you to afford more than one pepperami at a time from the range, in which case save up. I always like to have a nice glass bottle on the table into which I drop a twopence piece, a halfpenny, a farthing, something of that kind, and eventually it will add up to a pepperami. Now they come in this, I say, these very sweet, very, very bespoke little packages. And look at that. Isn't that lovely? Does that remind you of anybody that you know well? Does that remind you of anybody you've had any fun with? Size isn't everything, of course, although very often it is rather important. I do sometimes find it so difficult not to say, my gosh, that's all you've got, that's it. You can't say that. It's not considered polite in this country. You have to maintain the illusion, or is it the delusion, that it's not the size, it's how you use it. This is what's incredibly important. Now you'll see, it's a little like a condom. Do you see that? A little sweet, individual, safe sex condom for each. Look at that. We used to learn to do that at school. We would roll a condom along a chair leg at Haberdasher's Ass School for Girls just to learn how to address the whole issue of not getting pregnant and not getting a sexual disease. So this little sausage condom, there it is. So I peel that off. Then we do, this is very quaint custom actually, and I don't know if you're familiar with this around the world, but if you live here or born here in the United Kingdom, you'll know about this. You suck what I call the liquor. You can feel liquor. Good the liquor. A good licking, because there's this kind of almost like a pepperami gravy that remains enmeshed in the pepperami condom. And it's a shame to throw it away. So you have a good suck of that, then you put that to one side. And then you take the sweet little sausage, you put it in the package for your pal. You do this a few times. I won't go through the whole rigmarole with the sucking of the, well, maybe I will actually, because it's absolutely delicious. That's what we do in this country. It's a lovely thing to do. You add another sausage, you take your label, and you write something sweet and charming like, I heart sausages, let's say. Like that, I heart sausages, you see that? And then you just hook that over one of the pepperamis like this. So it's an individually packaged and lovely sausage with a sweet message. And at that time of the month, it can be very important to have a little extra supply of iron. So you've lined up your pepperami, you've got your label, you see, and then I would pop in there, for good measure, couple of Tampacks. Now, you don't want them to be only a big size because you don't want to imply that your chum or pal might have a grossly distended vagina or anything of that kind. So you put a nice small one in, a rather bigger one in. No judgment here, none at all. We're all girls together. And there you have it. That is the sausage period package. And it gives love and affection. It gives practical absorption, which you need during that time of the month. And it gives a much needed dose of iron just when a girl needs it most. The great news is, the wonderful news, get ready to jubilate. You will very soon be receiving your very own jar of With Love Vanessa homemade preserve. Yes, you're right, it is a little jar. Yes, you're right, it isn't large. But when it arrives at your house, chez vous, at your humble council flat or your small semi-detached abode, you will instantly feel elevated, because will you receive a small, rather scanty jar of jam? You will not. Will your Amazon delivery man be staggering under the weight of pure packaging? Yes, he most definitely will. And let me show you how I achieve this. This is the product. I begin by wrapping it copiously and exotically and attractively in a whole load of tissue paper. Then I think, that's insufficient tissue paper. Is that sufficiently elevated? I think it is not. So I take some more paper, decorative. It is pink. It matches my kitchen. I take the jam. I wrap the jam. I actually encase the jam. I give the jam, I like to say, a beautiful, elevated, protected carapace of paper. Look at that jam. Is it beginning to look to you more like an expensive candle, possibly from Jo Malone? When you look at this, you're not sure what it is. You don't think, that's the jam I ordered you. That looks like an expensively packaged product. I very much like the feel of that. So then we add that, we enhance, we elevate. We take another beautiful piece of exquisite paper. And what do? We take this beautiful jam and we make it even more beautiful, even more elevated by wrapping it. Look at this. Look at the character that this jam is now taking on with a great deal of packaging. And I hear you say, Vanessa, is this wise? What about the planet, the environment? Should you be encasing this very small jar of jam in all this packaging? And I say, look, there are people who need to worry about that sort of thing, but they are not such people as we. We are people who aspire. We are aiming for the stars. We're not aiming to consider the planet. Let other people worry about it. We are aiming to consider spreading a little stardust over our lives. So look at that. That could be a Dior handbag inside that. That could be a pochette from Louis Ferraud. Just a small jar of rather ordinary jam that I'm pretending I made myself, although of course I've never made jam in my life and couldn't imagine it. And I don't know how you make jam. But anyway, here is the jam looking utterly magnificent. Then I take one of these lovely decorative bags. Look at this. Put the jam in there. If I gave that to you, you might think it was a packet of Christian Louboutin shoes, mightn't you? You wouldn't know it was just humble jam. Then, look at this. A beautiful box, twinkly, sparkly, elevated. I put the jam in the box. Look at this, I put the lid on the box. You think, Vanessa, you have elevated that jam. You've turned this jam from a preserve into an experience. Vanessa, there is an end now to our ambitions for the packaging of this jam. And I say no. I say no, no, no. I am only just getting started now, because I'm going to take this jam and I'm going to take this box and I'm going to put the box in another beautiful bag. How many trees have bitten the dust to provide all these bags and all the packaging for my range? Do I care? Am I interested? I am not. I have things to do. I have elevating to get on with. Look at this. Now, say somebody delivered this to you. What would you think this was? Would you think this was from Van Cleef & Arpels? Would you think this was some kind of tiara studded with diamonds, such as my husband, well, had I got one, had I married a prince, would bestow upon me? You would, wouldn't you? You wouldn't think it was jam. And finally, the pièce de la résistance. I put this bag inside this bag. So when you spend £75 sterling on a jar of Vanessa Feltz preserve strawberry accented remarkable jam, this is what will arrive in your hand, and it comes with Love Vanessa for you. You recognize my column of elevation. You know exactly what I'm about to do. I'm going to take a plant. Now, this plant you will recognize. Have you any kind of insight into Mother Nature and horticulture? And I hope you do. You will know that this is a Christmas cactus. And I know what you're thinking. Vanessa, what has occurred? Your Christmas cactus? I'll show you it's not a fluke, because here's another. Vanessa, your Christmas cactus is flowering at Easter. And I'll show you it's not a fluke, because here's another. And I will say to you this. Yes, you are right. My Christmas cactus is flowering at Easter. What do? I sing. I sing a little song to these cacti at night, and they oblige me by blooming, not just at Christmas as expected, but also at Easter. And what do I sing? I sing, I'm every woman, it's all in me. You can see, look at the blooms responding to my voice. It's the vibration in my voice. I'm elevating the Christmas cactus so it also flowers at Easter. Elevate breakfast time. Now, how do you do that? In the United Kingdom, we are so fortunate. Bestowed upon us is this cornucopia of gorgeousness. It's by a company, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. We call it Kellogg's. Kellogg's, and they make this delightful breakfast granola that we sometimes call cereal. But it's not just one box, which can be boring and dreary, repetitive day after day, a little like sex with your own husband. You think, oh my God, sex before marriage, yes, sex after marriage, absolutely never, not with you, not again, not in that position again. Hang on, what's the time? All right. It's going to take you 2.5 minutes. Pull down my nightie when you finish. Not that kind of thing. You don't want that from cereal. From cereal, you want a challenge. You want an unexpected fillip to your day. And how do you do that? Well, we're very fortunate. They present us with, at Kellogg's, this selection box. So you never quite know what is going to happen to you on the cereal front. Absolutely anything could occur. It could be any cereal that you are being offered on any day of the week. So you have lovely friends, you know, those friends of yours, I can't remember exactly who they are or how you met them, those friends you barely know are coming to stay. So what do? You offer them a cornucopia of cereal opportunity. Into a convenient wicker basket, you place, what is this one? Oh yes, the Rice Krispies. You put those in. You put, what are these? Yes, the Rice Krispies. Are they all Rice Krispies? No, what's this one called? Oh yeah, right, there are two, that's right. There are 2 of Rice Krispies, this is quite true. There are 2 of Corn Flakes, you put those in too. You put, of course, even more Rice Krispies, it's quite boring. And then you put this, which is in fact Cocoa Pops. You put 1 of Cocoa Pops, you put this one in, and then you keep this one for yourself because quite frankly, the Cocoa Pops are the only ones worth eating. So what you've done is offer your guest an elevated breakfast experience, and if you can bring your own personal cow into the kitchen and allow your guest to help you milk Daisy, then that makes it even more precious and darling.